Hey, welcome to Melodies and Flow. My name is Moses Oaktree. I'm going to be your host this evening. Uh, this is taking place at the Studio 125 Multimedia Complex. For those who don't know, you should. For those who don't know me, my name is Moses Oaktree. My friends call me Mosley. They asked me where I got the name from. Can't tell you. Public secret. I am what you would call a griot, a poet, an educator. I am here to teach through my words, and my main goal is to elevate through the words that I speak. I've been a poet for a number of years. I am coming out of Aiken, South Carolina, but I've lived in Greenville, I've lived in Columbia, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Charleston. I think it's very important to recognize that each of these places all have a very distinct history, especially to the Southeast and especially to our people here in the Southeast. I think each of those cultures and each of those people have had a major impact on not just me, but the way that I look at the world, my perspective, and the perspective that I'm able to give back. Because there are a lot of stories that aren't told and need to be told. My personal specialty is in collecting our history and our stories from each of these cities and bringing those back to our people. I love fiction personally, so I'm gonna write fiction. And I write a lot of fiction. But even within the fiction that I write, I always keep maybe more than a kernel of truth in it. I believe in not directly giving somebody the word because some people don't take to blunt force. I believe in creating an area and a system with my words where somebody can question for themselves what has been said. And once somebody is able to question for themselves, maybe they can come to a conclusion that, even I couldn't have given them. And that's why I love what I do. I believe in elevation and I believe in seeking something higher. And I believe that the word is maybe one of the best ways to do it. So from here, I want to introduce you to a little bit of my poetry. I have a couple of words that I'm going to share. My goal is, again, to share some culture with you, maybe something that can provoke some thought, and hopefully something that you can take away and make you a better person or not. So my first piece is just going to be an introduction to me. I am big onto the fiction just in general, but again, the history of the places that I've been, the soil that I've actually been on is very important. So coming up is going to be my video, Infinite Ellipses, which takes place in Stone Mountain, Georgia, right around the Atlanta, Georgia area. Thank you so much for listening. There's a tombstone behind me. It's as big as Stone Mountain, and so stands taller than the trees that bear strange fruit that surround it. Etched upon his face is the name of every slave who ever went to their grave without their freedom. They are ghosts now. Step closer and you can see them. If you listen, you might even hear the sound of this chain gang laying tracks for railroads underground. Harriet Tubman will conduct them. Across ruby bridges, where W.B. Du Bois is waiting patiently to instruct them. He will teach them how to be kings, for he knows our salvation must come with a Sankofa bird large enough to block the sun with its wings, the sum of which will cause the Negro soul to eclipse and evolve the resolve to better the world for our kids, so that Emmett Tills and Trayvons can grow up to have sons who grow up to have sons who grow up to have sons and sons and sons and sons and sons and sons. But the son and I have a problem, because every summer black bodies are turned into white crosses. And then come the excuses, too many, too often, and it all sounds like white noise. So here I am on the other side of summer, reading obituaries, sweating bullets, the same bullets they use to try to fill up my body, but I'm the spirit of black future, So your bullets can't stop me. What they can do is go through me so that bullet points can leave bullet points on the pages of obituaries like ... Alton Sterling ... Sandra Bland ... Walter Scott, infinite ellipsis. So I live in a period. I live in a period where Black Lives Matter, where black fists are the fetishes, the ghost of Black Panthers used to gather. You can see them in the tear gas. They'll possess you with black power, with dark shades, berets, shotguns, and gunpowder. They'll set your spirit ablaze to the days the sun quiets. Meanwhile, the young black boy is mumbling, summoning thoughts of Newark and Tulsa, Chi-Town, and Watts, riots. So a door in the tombstone opens up, and right before his eyes is MLK and all of MLK's past lives. They all speak at the same time, and their voice is all the same. "We're glad you came," is all they say before they burst into flames. And young black boy stepped forward through that gravestone door and forgets his slave name. Again, that was Infinite Ellipsis, coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. That one is one of the earlier ones that I've written. I believe I wrote that one maybe 6-7 years ago. I was very fortunate to live in Atlanta, work at the Center for Civil and Human Rights, and even perform that for a few people there. The security guards there liked it, so I imagine it was pretty good. But I'm really aiming to make sure that history is a piece of something that I'm consistently sharing with everyone. Now, my next piece is less blunt about actual references to history, and more gets into in my love for fiction and speculative fiction. If somebody looks at me and asks like who defines my style or who I'm similar to, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm a big fan of Saul Williams. Oh, you don't know who Saul Williams is? Awesome. You know who Donald Glover, Childish Gambino is? Think Atlanta, but think like history. Yeah, I think that's kind of my style in a nutshell. So this next piece, I have a ton of love for. It is a part of a much longer piece, but I think the message that's going to come out of it is clear. Coming up next is going to be my piece, In the Wake of the Igbo. Martin Luther King was a John when Maya Angelou worked the streets. They had an illegitimate child found cradled in a Harlem dumpster by 3 base heads guided by a Dogon star. When they fished her from the refuse, they raised her high in the air. She was half Renaissance and half Revolution. And so we just called her Riri. That was the year her adopted family moved her out to Cali and left her latchkey, but that's how she learned how to meditate on her own. How to sink into silence till she synced with the silence. When she touched the Godhead, her whole apartment would glow. Her tables, her chairs, her little knickknacks would float. And I only knew because I used to live close. It was she and I and a couple of kids from the block. We used to hang out and talk, roast one another and our mothers, and laugh like that was the only escape from the ghetto. We were living the summer dream, cloaked in the summer steam that streamed from the cracks in the sidewalk where we would watch the weeds stalk, lost in our own image. When Riri's body is struck with a pain sharp and arthritic, her eyes rolled white like twin eggshells trapped in a skull. They cracked with cherried veins. The yolk bled from her nose. Her skin sagged with an ash that turned the melanin pale. I watched her shiver. I watched her sweat. I watched her shake and shake and shake and shake and shake till it all went still. That's when she has her vision. Her tongue spiraled, her words twisted. She said, "Blood and bones are sewn into the American flag. That's how you know the enslaved made this nation great. And when they leave, it goes up in flames. We must step forward on our path, for Yemaya awaits." And then she faints. It will be 3 days later before Riri finally wakes, and when she does, she never makes her words clear. The same night, she disappeared. The next time I saw Riri, she was on stage at a rally, raining truth down on the people. She was thunder, she was lightning, even her beauty was striking. When she kept flashing me looks, I realized she recognized me. Felt a calm in my spirit when she, the storm, would eye me. So we ended up back at my spot. While the stars fell into the backdrop, she tells me not to call her Riri because her real name is Orisha. When Orisha says she has a plan to finally leave America, I tell her not to go. We should build a family together. She tells me I should come. I tell her she should stay. We make love through the night till the night melts into day, and Orisha gets her away. Before the end of the week, she had gathered her disciples and set out for the east. She called it an exodus, said this nation wasn't built for us, so she was going to walk across America and set all her people free. Those who wanted to be. And so we leave California. And for 3 seasons' time, we tiptoed the tightrope of the Mason-Dixon line, followed on down to the biggest slave port in the South, and arrive in Charleston, Carolina. Just imagine us. We were thousands now. A legion of believers in freedom. For 40 days and 40 nights, Orisha get to teaching, and the man, he get to thinking. Get to talking, say we spreaded false doctrine to lead the masses into darkness. The new day sunrise transforms our sojourn into a circus. We're forced to beat a retreat to the beach while the police try to disperse us, but you cannot force peace. And making it easier to live for these conservatives does not maintain order. Orisha says nothing, slips off her sandals, steps into the water. The whole Atlantic holds its breath. Saline breeze trapped deep in its chest, the depths harvest the waves till the surface coalesced. There are no ripples when she moves. The quicksilver surface simply accepts her second nature as its own. An ocean within an ocean, she waves, beckons us home. I am the first to go. I feel almost drunk when the water touches my skin as I wash away the shame ingrained in the white gaze and the days I've spent dazed in this cultural amnesia. These waters feel like Egypt, like Alkebulan, like Kemet, like Africa. I submerge myself within them. When I open my eyes, I realize I can see. When I open my mouth, I realize I can breathe. Is this what it means to finally be free? Is this what it means to finally be? I step forward through the water. Take Orisha in my hands. The brave follow us in, and no one on the surface ever sees us again. Y'all all right? Yeah, I know, it goes crazy. That was in the wake of the Igbo. it really came to me based on my experiences exploring St. Simon's Island. Uh, there's this incredible story. Beyonce actually references it in Lemonade, where a collection of enslaved came from Africa, was able to take, yeah, it was able to enact a mutiny on the ship and steer themselves into freedom onto American land. However, recognizing that there was no way back to Africa, uh, they chose to take their own lives. It was something that really stuck with me. Really something that really affected me in a lot of ways, and I felt like that was one of our stories that was really important to be shared. I shared that story more succinctly in the collected piece. However, for you, um, I wanted to make it a love story, and I wanted to make it something big, and I wanted to really create an environment where we could really think about who we are as Black Americans, because it's so easy to get swept up in our daily lives. So coming up next is one of my favorites. It's a lot shorter. It's a lot cuter, and I think you're really going to appreciate the message. Coming up next is baby names. So I do a little bit of traveling sometimes, and sometimes I'm fortunate to travel back to somewhere I once called home. One of these more recent visits, I got to meet up with a friend, and he got up with me. He was like, "Hey, yo, Mosey, hey, yo, man, it's been a while since the last time I saw you, man. I'm having a child. Yo, you're a poet. It would be an honor if you could help me name my daughter." I said, "Yeah, man. Names are a blessing or a curse. Every time you say someone's name, the name's meaning reactivates. When you recite their entire title, that's when the magic goes to work. Have you considered Keisha? It's Swahili and Hebrew. If you put its meanings together, it means favored in life. Or how about Monet? French for descended from the protector. Or how about Tierra? Hebrew and Latin, it means crowned of the earth. He say, "Nah, man, I ain't feeling those. But I'm hearing you. What else you got?" And I say, hmm. I crack my knuckles and I give it a little bit of thought. I say, "Well, how about Elise? It means noble. Or Charisse, it means cherry. She'll be righteous or sweet as the fruit. What about Rhea? Tranquil as the river. Or how about Monica? It means unique. What about Vanessa? It means butterfly. Or Octavia, the name of a writer. What about Vivian, full of life? Or Viola, which means violet? What about Rosa, which means rose? Or Marie, wished for child? What about Harriet? It means ruler. It's a personal favorite of mine. Or Shamika, Hindi for kind. Or Rhonda, Welsh for noisy. Or, nah, I ain't feeling those, man. But I've been hearing you. I know what I want. I've been considering your suggestions, and I think I'm going to take them. Oh. And y'all, sure enough, it wasn't long before Lakeisha, Montiera, Ali, Cherie, LaMonica, Nessa, Taviviola, Rosa, Marie, Harish, Sharonda Jones was born. And since every time you say a name, the name's meaning reactivates, Every good night and good morning, it was Lakeisha, Montiera, Ali, Cherie, LaMonica, Nessa, Viviola, Rosa, Marie, Harisha, Rhonda. Every time she did her chores, it was Lakeisha, Montiera, Ali, Cherie, LaMonica, Nessa, Viviola, Rosa, Marie, Harisha, Rhonda. Every time she left the home, it was bye, Lakeisha, Montiera, Ali, Cherie, LaMonica, Nessa, Viviola, Rosa, Marie, Harisha, Rhonda. I met Lakeisha, Montiera, Ali, Cherie, LaMonica, Nessa, Viviola, Rosa, Marie, Harisha, Rhonda. Jones. She was beautiful. She was clever. She was really good at sports. She asked me about her moniker, and I said, hey, Keisha, baby, you are favored in life. You are descended from the protector. You are crowned of the earth. You are noble and sweet and tranquil and unique. You are graceful as the butterfly, wise as the writer. You are full of life and beautiful as the violet, romantic as the rose your parents wished for child. You are a ruler. You are kind. And you are also kind of loud. She smiles, wipes a tear from her eye as I relay all the ways that her alias is made. She say, I knew it. I knew it. I knew my parents had to love me to give me that long old name. Oof. Yeah, y'all good? I'm good. Yeah, my brain's still kind of spinning from having to perform that one. But I'm glad that you stuck around for it. That is definitely one of my favorite ones to do, especially in bars because people buy me drinks because I do it. With that, I have gotten to kind of explore a lot of different ways to tell our story, and I have a ton more to share with you. If you're interested in following me, you should check me out on Instagram at MOSES_OAKTREE. Again, I'm Moses Oaktree. I do a lot of my current writing, a lot of my current speaking out of Columbia, South Carolina. However, throughout the Southeast region, you will be able to find me. This has been Melodies and Flow out of Studio 125, the multimedia complex. And you can find more information and connect with Melodies and Flow through the social media on all social media platforms at Studio 125 Blythe. Again, that's STUDIO 125 BLYTHE. Check us out. I think you might be in for some really pleasant surprises, or at least some good words that are, really going to be worth building a lot of. Again, this is Moses Oaktree. Thank you for listening.